Hi, I just want to talk a little bit about Canvas and the course structure, syllabus, how I use things, how they're set up. So once you're logged into Canvas, you can click on your courses and then scroll down to usually at the bottom is the newest course. That's the default. There may be a way to change that. I'm still fairly new to Canvas. We switched over from Blackboard not too long ago. So I'm still learning some of the finer points about Canvas. Anyways, if you get on Canvas announcements, I'll tend to post things up on announcements, like there is the syllabus. There's a video introduction. Here's some things we'll need for class coming up. Let's see, assignments is where we'll go for our information about the things we're working on. I already have up project 1, so you can click on that, look it over. Feel free to start exploring ideas in there too, that's fine. I try to start out with our calendar so we get a broad idea of when things are due. We'll have a research post due June 11th. Research posts are, you have to write something on all the readings and the videos, tie them together to what you're exploring in your practice. The research is due before your final project due. The project is our art element to it, our creating element to it. The research is more of our critical thinking aspect. So we can't necessarily tie it to your finished product, but you should have been going through the explorations at that time, develop some thoughts on different parts of the project, and I'd like you to connect what you're doing creatively to the concepts and ideas of visual culture that we're exploring. And of course, showing an understanding of visual culture in the context. First one is, of course, identity, photography, and social media. And then there are critical responses. So this is something else to think about. I would like, after you post a research post, I would like you to read the person's before and after you, at least those two, and give them some comments. What did you think about that? I want to try and create an atmosphere of interactivity. This is a graduate course. We should be looking at each other, helping each other out. We're creating our own work, but we're also trying to think broadly about this, and we start looking at other people's research, looking at their work. We might discover new ideas or thoughts about visual culture, photography, or identity, or even social media as we do that. So, so your research post, you got your own, but then make a couple comments on other people's. That will be the same when you post your project. Your project will be the photographs that you've taken. And in this case, they'll get all posted up on Instagram. We're going to be using many different social media in this course. I would like every time we make a comment or post something on there to always tie it back to Canvas. Please do that. That'll make it easier to keep track of, make sure everyone's getting the credit for the things that they deserve. So anytime you make a post related to these things, make sure you're tying it back to Canvas, and that will be under discussions, and we'll get there in a minute. And that is, here's your critical responses. So with the critical responses, after people post their projects and then they connect those projects to Canvas, I would like you to critique the person before and the person who posts after you on Canvas. And then give them some critical input. Look at their work and what are some of your thoughts? What are they doing well? What could they work on? How are they connecting it to visual culture? How do you see it related to the things that we're discussing? All right, so there's the overview, and then we have an overview of the project to try to give some conceptual thoughts about what we're looking at, our objectives. Then we get to the nuts and bolts of the project, what you're going to be doing. We have in essence, three things that we're looking at, questions that you're exploring. Who are you? Who are you not? And who does culture think you are? Creative thinking. I'm trying to emphasize these ideas of problem solving, creative thinking, and critical thinking. So here's some of the creative thinking ideas you should be thinking about. Research, of course, now we're getting to the research posts. What are you reading? What are you looking at? I have a number of different things, a lot of things. One of the things I want to do to use is show you a number of different resources I'm aware of that relate to these things, thoughts and ideas, and hopefully you can expound or expand on those, utilize them as you need. So I try to give a bunch of different things. One of the things that I do for most of my classes is there's a PDF here of the critique process as defined by James Elkin, who wrote a book, Why Art Cannot Be Taught, which was a very good read. I highly recommend it because it's a sort of history of art teaching, going back, of course, to the Greeks. But within that book, one of my favorite things, he gave me a process, which I was never given as an undergraduate student or graduate student, ever shown a process for critiquing work. Some of you may have had that, and that is probably invaluable. It's something that I try and do, particularly in my foundation level classes, but also, I figure for us teachers, perhaps you had a similar experience as me and you didn't get that information. Well, there's a place to go for some. Okay, we are going to be, as I said, using a number of different social media. Flickr, Instagram, and YouTube are going to be the primary ones. There might be a few others that we maybe explore a little bit, but those are the primary ones that we're going to be creating posts with. All right, so the project, what we're creating, here's the project. That's what you're creating photographically in the first one. The research, that's what all the things that we're reading about. And then at the bottom we have calendar. There's a calendar is actually integrated into the research. So day one, look at these things, read these things. Day two, read these things. You're free to work ahead. I will be posting the other projects up here as in the next couple of weeks before class begins. But day three, day four, so there's a calendar that'll help you every day get a sense of what you should be doing. All right, so that's first project, and that's under assignments. All the things that when we are discussing or for critiquing, we want to make sure we connect those things to the discussions here. So I already have project one, a place for you to post that project. There's a place for your research post, and in progress. I would also like to see you kind of sharing your work in progress. I want to see that in progress stuff. I have that in the calendars explicitly. I also would like to see you helping out. We are all educated and educators, and we have opinions and ideas and thoughts. And the more we can share them, the more we can help each other out, the broader all of our experiences can be in this class. So there's an in-progress thing. I would like you to be posting in-progress photographs, connecting them in this discussion thread, and and giving each other some input. And I will try and give you folks input too. I probably won't be able to hit everyone and every one of these, but I will keep up on these, look at them, and give you input. So there'll be discussions for project 2 and 3 in here as well. One thing that's different with this class than my other class is, it's a 4-week class. Things go fast, they go quick. This class, I have 3 projects where I teach another one, 828 creative photography, and I have every week there's a project due. That's not the case with this one. I think we're dealing with more complex things, bigger things, and multiple media, so we take a little bit more time. The first project will be the project itself. Research will be due here, project will be due here. The next week, research will be due here, project will be due here. And then the following week, I think the project is due here, research is due. Research is a little different on the last project. You write a little less formal thing on an artist statement. And that's the last thing due there. So 3 things, so be aware of that. It's not every Monday that something is, project is due, but you have just a little more than a week for each project. All right, so you can click here, and I don't have the syllabus. Oh, there, I said, I don't have the syllabus. Oh no, that's the project 1 guidelines. I will make sure I get the syllabus as a downloadable thing right there. I will correct that shortly. And so we got that. Those are the biggest things: announcements, assignments, discussions, of course, grades. People are always curious about that. I lost my, there, up here, this little button will bring back this menu. So if you lose that, you click on that. I don't really know that there's much else here that I've really gotten to use. We have Zoom and other things. You know, if you want to chat or something, we could do Zoom. There's also a chat button. When you have questions, you know, I am available. I will try and respond during the week within 24 hours. On the weekends, send me something within 48 hours. So those are some thoughts on the course and on Canvas.